Mark Hall here, and we are talking about student ministry, loving on teenagers and pouring into them. And I got to say, most of the things that I think I'm doing right in student ministry are not from some moment of wisdom. A lot of them are because I did them the wrong way first. And being a youth guy, I was scared to ask advice. I was scared to look to others older than me because I was intimidated because I was younger. And then I was intimidated by the fact that I'm dyslexic and Satan had found all my buttons and made me feel small. So I was always scared to let people know I didn't know what to do. And I had to learn by mistakes a lot. So number one, before we even get into this, pray for somebody in ministry around you that you will hear things from. It's weird how leaders close in the walls and who they'll hear from. We need folks to get in our business sometimes. And I had people try, and I didn't listen a lot. So let me get into your business. I'm over here in internet land. I'm not even real. So anyway, talking about student ministry, I think one of my biggest misconceptions were some of the goals I had. I remember when I was told I was going to start a youth Bible study. I was told, all right, this is going to be the place that you're going to meet. Like it's a Sunday school room or it's a youth room or whatever it might be. And I would think, okay, dude, I got some ideas. And I'd get in that room and I'd see all these chairs. And in one of my rooms specifically, I remember blue chairs. And I thought, man, my goals and my dreams were one day I'm going to have all of these blue chairs full. I mean, this room is going to be packed out. And that was my goal, which is not a bad goal. The seats are numbers and numbers are people, and I get all that. So I'm not that guy. But I'm saying I felt like that was the end goal. Like I want to have tons of teenagers in here studying the Word. And over the years, I started learning the hard way that just because they're sitting in the seats, just because the lights are being turned on for them, just because they're saying it back to me, doesn't mean they're leaving here and walking in it. And when I look back at the students that started and finished with me and are now adults, I look at those and I think, who still gets it? Who still walks with God? Who's still pouring into people? One of the biggest things that I saw in common with all of those who were still rocking in their faith were those that had some sort of ministry of their own when they were in the youth group. They weren't just coming, it was theirs. Does that make sense? So my goal had to shift when I saw that to my goal doesn't need to be, one day I want all of these chairs full. I started realizing if I don't get these kids out of these chairs and serving somehow before they graduate, if all they were was an audience, if that's all they were, then they're going to just go to a different audience when they get in college. Because it's not really your faith until you can give it to somebody else. And there are a lot of things in the faith that we understand, we think we do, until we start trying to say it. And we're like, well, it's kind of like God's in control, okay? Don't even ask me. You know, you can't live your life like that, and neither can teenagers. They need to have a way to get this out. And most students believe, on accident, they believe just because of what they see, and most adults believe that ministry is singing and talking, because that's what we do when we come to church. We sit in the chairs and someone gets up on a stage and they sing or they talk. So most kids in the youth group, like me, are sitting in the back and go, well, I don't sing and I'm never going to talk in front of people. That's like the number one fear other than death is public speaking. That's never going to be me, so I can't be in ministry. So a lot of people in our church feel, because they're not singers and talkers, the ministry is for them and for someone else, and the rest of us are just here to support you. And that's just not in the Bible anywhere. Ministry is not singing and talking. Ministry is doing what you do, what you're passionate about, what your gifts are, taking what you have to offer and saying, God, how can I point people to you with this? So my teenagers need to understand that art is ministry. They need to understand that changing oil is ministry, and painting a house is ministry, and dancing is ministry. And I can tell adults that all day, but with teenagers, they're in a little place in their life where they just might try it. So I'm trying to find a way constantly to get that kid out of that chair and doing something. Because the next thing that happens is once they realize they can offer something, then suddenly they're not coming to your youth group anymore. I've got kids right now that I need to call every Wednesday to go, are you going to come tonight? Are you going to come tonight? Please come tonight. But I got some kids that I'll never have to do that. Got Kalo who does the tech. How old's Kalo, Neil?
17.
17. How long has he been doing tech? Since he's 14? maybe younger.
6th grade probably.
6th grade.
He's a senior now.
Little quiet kid. And we say, Kalo, come help us with the sound and the lights and stuff. And man, he steps in. He didn't say 2 words. Still a pretty quiet guy. But I'll never have to call Kalo and say, hey, you coming to church tonight? You know what Kalo's thinking? Yeah, you coming? I'm coming. You want lights, right? You guys need me. Of course I'm gonna be there. That means something. When a kid knows you need him, when a kid knows he's valued, something happens in him, just like the rest of us. Your students are not an audience to your ministry. Your students have a ministry, and that's on us. We got to help them find it. That's my encouragement to you guys, and that's my challenge to myself. Get out there and get them out of the chairs. Love you guys.